all and welcome to the latest Craftmania Sunday Showcase. Today I have absolutely loads to share with you, so it might be a good day to go get a cup of tea and a pen and paper and return, because I'm going to waffle on for hours and I think I'm going to tempt you with lots of goodies that I think you're going to really want, especially if you managed to get your hands on last week's Sunday Showcase. If you haven't seen this one yet, this was our last Sunday Showcase. These are our clear acrylic domes, to which we show you lots of different ways you could decorate them. What I'm going to be sharing with you today would be absolutely perfect to put inside your domes. So if you were lucky enough to get your hands on them, this might be a good product for you. For those of you that didn't get them yet, we do have another shipment arriving early next week, so or this week now for you lot. So it shouldn't be far away at all, so do watch out for them. And as I say, if you haven't seen the video, the good bit with all of our Sunday Showcases is you can pop on YouTube, go to our Craftmania Crafts page, and you can see all of the different videos that we've ever created. I think we're nearly at 100 different videos, and there's all different tips and products on there that you could watch. So let's actually introduce you to today's product. Today we're going to be looking at an air drying clay. Now this is a super lightweight air drying clay. They're actually jars or pots, airtight containers I should call them, with 40 grams of clay in them. This is one that I've used quite a bit of, so I'm going to show you the red because I have used my red one, but there's a little bit more of it left in there. So you do get quite a big amount of this, and the good bit is it is really light. So if you do want to use these for your cards, your scrapbooking, home decor, the options really are endless. And if you're somebody who does craft fairs and bits, the ability to make your own embellishments out of this at really cheap prices is going to be incredibly handy to get you a good profit margin on the things you wish to sell as well. So there are 20 different colours of the clay that we're going to be using today, and they come in two different sets. So we have set 1 and set 2 to talk about, and you can also buy them individually. So if you don't want to buy that many, if you just want to have a little bit of a dabble, don't panic, you don't have to buy loads of them, which is why you might want your pen and paper. So we're going to have a little look through set 1 to begin with. Now the jars individually, by the way, are £2.39 each, which actually, before we move on, is a really good price for an air drying clay. I've done a bit of research, and if you compare it to like the Hearty clay, for instance, with those you get 50 grams, so slightly more, but 50 grams for £3.99 tends to be the average price I can see for that one. Where with this one you're getting 40 grams for £2.39. So a little bit less, but a big saving in comparison. And with the sets and the offers I've got for you, a humongous saving in comparison. So even if you are somebody who's been doing clay for quite a while, this might be a good little addition to your setup. And if you're new to it, get in with a cheap price. And if you like it, we can keep adding to it, and you can keep saving your money in comparison to the expensive ones. So let's have a little look at set 1. In here you are going to get flesh, black, brown, red, blue, light blue, purple, green, yellow and white. Now if you are watching this and you can see that we've got 1 and 2 wrote on the white one, that's because in set 2 you also get a white. So if you do decide that you want both sets, you will end up with 2 pots of white, but that's actually a bonus because there's so much we can do with the white. And the same with all of the colours, there's lots of ways we can play about and dress them up and mix them and do lots of things to create different colours. So, but the white is really a lovely one to have a lot of. So this was set 1. There are your 10 different colours for that. As I say, they are all available individually at £2.39 a pot, but if you wish to, you can buy set 1 for £15.99. Now obviously that should retail for your 10 jars or pots for £23.90. So you've got a good saving there of nearly £8 already. But it gets better. Being a Sunday Showcase, we just keep giving you offers. So you have set 2. Now again, you can buy just set 2. You don't have to buy set 1 and add set 2. Set 2 is a standalone product. And again, you can buy the colours individually. In this one we have pale blue, neon purple, light green, neon blue, neon pink, pink, orange, neon yellow and neon orange. And a white. Don't forget you will receive a white as well. That is your set 2. Again, available £2.39 each. Or you can buy all of set 2 for just £15.99. Or, as I say, you can have all 20 pots, set 1 and set 2 together for your £28. So that's £28 for both sets. Now that would normally cost you £47.80. So we're saving nearly £20 on buying all 20. And what a great stockpile you're going to have to create some amazing things. Now obviously when we're talking about air drying clay, you need something to use with it. You can make models of your own if you wish to, but in the card making world and scrapbooking and that, it's nice if we use it with moulds. Moulds give us the ability to take the clay and turn it into items like this. So this is one of our leaf moulds. You can just pop the clay in it, leave it a little while, and it will come out looking like this. And then of course we can dress it up. My one I've put some gilding wax on, but we'll come to that shortly. But the actual moulds themselves give us the freedom to create some lovely different embellishments and effects quite easily. So we're going to talk you through a few moulds. Now again, this is a Sunday showcase, so of course we have an offer for you with these, and we've never done this offer before, so it's a unique offer for this week. What we're doing is for every mould you purchase, we're going to give you a raffle ticket, and on the next video, which will be next Sunday, you'll see it, we will pick one lucky winner who will receive £50 worth of Craftmania gift vouchers. Now don't worry if you don't live locally, or even if you live abroad, it's not a problem. You'll still get your vouchers and you can spend them on our website anytime you wish to, in any order or amounts you want to. It's no problems, it'll be completely unconfusing as possible as such to spend your £50 worth of vouchers and get yourself a nice little stash completely free of charge. As I say, you'll get one ticket per mould you purchase. So let's have a look at the moulds and see how many tickets you're going to get. So this one is your rose leaf mould. This one's $9.99. Now I know $9.99 may sound a lot, but when we compare these to the price of the dies and actually think about what you're getting and all the different designs you're going to be receiving for your $9.99, to me they're actually incredibly good value for money. I know some of the leaf dies we do, you only get 1 or 2 actual leaves for your $9.99, where on this one you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different leaves. So that's quite an incredible way of looking at it, isn't it? A good little saving. Same goes on here. This is your small butterfly we'll be referring to this one as today. This one's only $8.99, and on this one obviously you've got 6 different butterflies, giving you quite different effects with those. We then have, and this one's an essential, I think you're going to love this one, this is your floral collection. This one's $9.99, and of course on this one we've got 6 different flowers, and they really are very different. This one's a beautiful sunflower, then we've got some nice pointed leaves going on, rounded leaves, deeper bits. I'll show you all of them throughout my samples. I actually have 16 samples to share with you today, so you're going to get to see all of this lot actually made up in a moment. We then have our corner set. Now with this one you're getting 4 very different distinct corners, and we've got this really nice sort of embellishment, sort of cameo style buckle in the middle as well. And this one's $9.99. Again, if we compare it to our dies, that means these are only £2 an item. So really good value for money, and so much we can do with them. Really lovely. And they're quite different depths as well, so if you don't want them to look too heavy, you can of course pick a more shallow corner as well. We then have the 3D butterfly one. Now this one's $14.99, but again, thinking of it in the die world, you wouldn't be able to get 3 butterflies that size, that intricate for only $14.99. And these are quite good as well because they're what they call a 3D butterfly, meaning that the wings come separate from the body, so it's up to you how you glue the wings on, meaning that you can have very sort of shaped butterflies if you want to, depending on what you're doing, or you can have very flat butterflies if you're worried about postage and envelopes and bits like that. We then have on this one, I think is gorgeous. This one is my favourite. I'm absolutely in love with this. This is your Flourish Rose collection. Now down the bottom here we have 3 different size roses that are just, I love this one. I'm going to be a little bit too enthusiastic, I feel. Then we have our Flourish set at the top of the actual sort of more delicate swishes, which of course you can marry up to make like swags if you want to, or you can use them as corners. We can even straighten them out, and we'll chat about that in a minute and show you how you can do that. But because of the foam is quite pliable, we can really sort of shape them if we want to. This one's $16.99. And again, we're getting quite a lot on that one for that. So you are getting 6 different shapes. And of course, your ticket to hopefully win £50 worth of gift vouchers. We then have our pansy set. Now this one gives you 2 different size pansies and 2 different size leaves as well. This one's only $7.99. So I believe that's your cheapest mould you're going to see today. And really lovely. The card I've made with that is quite striking. So hopefully you'll like that one. And then lastly, we have our dragonfly mould. Now this one's one of our dearest ones. It's $16.99, but as you can see, size-wise, it's quite large, and we actually get quite a lot on this one. And we've got a complete dragonfly at the top, a 3D dragonfly below, meaning that again your wings are separate, so you can glue them on however you wish to. And then two of our little pond flourishy sort of weedy bits, and a bit of rockery at the bottom as well to create the scenes with. And that one, as I say, is only $16.99. Again, a great one to get. So let's show you a little bit about your moulds and talk to you about how you can use them and different bits we can do with them. So obviously you can just take one colour and fill a mould, which is really easy to do. We're going to take the red one, and I'll show you just how quick it is to do a corner. Just take your clay out, push it directly into the mould. Now, depending on how big your mould is, or how deep your mould is, and how much clay you choose to put in your mould will depend on how long it takes to dry. The manufacturer for our clay recommends between 2 and 24 hours to dry, depending on the size and amount you're using. Now don't forget that covers everything up to sort of 3D objects, and that they do quite a lot of animals and things that children can make, because of course it's safe for children to use too. But we just want to play with cards, don't we? To be honest, we don't want to share it. It's ours, isn't it? So if you are going to do things like this with it, it should only take a couple of hours. Just pop it to one side, come back to it when it's done. I leave mine to dry in the mould. I find I get a better result with that. Some people may choose to take them out of the mould as they create them. If you wish to, that's fine. But I personally struggle a bit getting them out, so I tend to leave them in and let it dry in there and then remove them. Now, of course, this one will just come out as a solid corner all done in red. But if you want to, we can layer our colours. So we're going to go to the flourish one. I'll get that red out again. And this time I'm going to use my tool set. We do have a little tool set available for these, and this is where I find this comes in really handy. Using the different size balls on the end of this one is great, and this one to flatten out the top of them, and of course this one if you want to shape your work more. Using the moulds you might not need that one quite so much, but you'll be surprised how handy they can come in. You get all three tools for just $1.99, so they're incredibly inexpensive if you do want to add that to your order. But to get the two-tone effect, it's as simple as you would imagine really. Take a little bit of clay, squidge it into the parts of the mould you want to be the colour you wish for them to be. So obviously on this one we're doing roses. You just squidge it in, and then when you're happy with it, we can then add another colour. Of course, if at any time you decide, actually, I've added too much of that, you can just hook it out again and start from the beginning. You haven't lost anything. It's quite easy to remove if you feel that you've got it wrong. But just squidge it in, and then we'll take the next colour and add that on top. So for this one I want green leaves, obviously. So we're going to take a bit of the green and squidge that in over the top of this. Now you don't have to keep it flush to the top of the mould. If you're happy to let it overflow the top, I see it as a little bit wasteful, but then at the price of this, that's not too much of a concern. But it does save you a little job. I'll show you in a moment what I mean by that. If you leave it overflowing, like this for instance, if we leave that overhanging, then you're going to end up that when it comes out of the mould, you're going to have a bit of a side flap to it that you may not want to use on your actual project. It's not too bad because we can just cut it off using a craft knife or a pair of scissors, and I have a flower that I'm going to show you that with in a moment. The good bit with this as well is if you find bits that are tricky to get into, just keep pushing it, and even anywhere you push it, it will just spray out until it gets into that area. So it's not too tricky to load them into the tricky areas, and you don't have to worry about it being too flat on the back of them either. I've been glue gunning mine on, so the glue gun sort of fills out any of the pits you've left in it or creating it. And again, if you want to be a bit more frugal with it, they don't have to be solid on big items like this. You could leave less in the middle and save a bit more money. Talking of the amounts we use on these, it's worth noting that I have only ever had one pot of each colour. So for instance, this is the red that I'm left with. Now you can see by a new pot how much you're going to get, and you can see now how much red I've got left. So every time you see a red example in all of the cards I'm going to show you, that's what's come out of this, and you'll be surprised just how much you can get out of one of these little pots. The white one, for instance, although I do have two pots of white because I of course got my white from set 1 and my white from set 2. I've left my one from set 1 completely sealed, I haven't opened it, and I've just been working out of set 2, Now the white I really have hammered. I've only got that much left of it. Believe it or not, I'm still keeping that because that will become something at some time. But the amount of white pieces I've done, and I've got loads to be honest. I really have gone to town. I've got very addicted to doing these. I've been very lucky because I got this earlier on in the week this week, where normally I only have a Saturday to make and build everything that I show you on a showcase. This week I got it a little early, and my overs pot will show you that more than anything. These are all of the bits I have made that I will use. I'm not worried. They are going to come in handy. They will be created for something. Some of them I've even gilded and waxed and polished and painted ready. I've got these lovely little bits like this in here. They will come in for something, but it just shows you again how much you're getting out of these. When you think this is my set, you can see how little I've actually taken out of it and how much you can create from one set. Talking of that excess bit, because I said I'd show you that, this is a flower I've created and I've gilded and polished over, but you can see the bits in the middle here are still left in there. Because of this is so lightweight, if you do just want to snip them out, you can. On a lot of cases, I haven't even bothered to cut it. I've just taken my tweezers and sort of pulled off the bits I don't want. Because it's quite thin, because you haven't left it over too much, you can just pull it off. Or if you're more of a craft knife user, then of course you could go in and cut it out with your knife. But it does come off quite easily. You can even pull it off with your nails if you've got nails long enough. But it won't damage your flower, but it'll just strip it back to what you want it to be. On a lot of my samples today, you're going to see that I've done gilding polish over the top of them. So I'm going to show you that while we're here and I've got my polish ready. So let's... oh, have we got a black anything in here? It always shows up better on dark colours. Let's go for a brown leaf. So this is the brown from set 1. And I'm just going to take a little bit, tiny bit of gilding polish. Gilding wax, sorry. I keep getting the two confused. But this one's gilding wax. And I'm just going to brush it over the top just to show you how quickly you can highlight the sort of details that these moulds create. And the leaves aren't really the best for that. The flowers are the best ones. And you can see, like the one I've already sort of done, how much you can pick up on that. But they're really just super quick to do, and it just highlights them a bit more. We'll go over this one again so you can see a bit more of it if you wish to. But they're really, really quick to do and just gives you a nice effect to the top of them. It's worth bearing in mind as well, with some of the colours, especially if you're doing it with both sets, you're not going to like all 20 colours, or it's very unlikely you're going to like all 20 colours. So it's good to think of ways that we can improve on the colours you don't like quite so much, and ways that we can use them to create different effects. And the gilding wax is a really good way of toning down some of the colours and giving you a different highlight on them. The brown leaves, I just did one of these, didn't I? But you can see there's a whole set of them here. I actually planned on doing quite a man's sort of autumnal birthday card with them, but I just didn't have time, to be honest. I've also done the green from set 2. This is the light green in the leaves, to give you an idea of how the leaves all look in different colours, because you'll see them on my sample state in quite a lot of the green from set 1. I've also got some of the flowers here. While we're here, we'll chat about these. These are some of the flowers out of your floral collection done. There's not all of the designs, but quite a few of them. And I've just left them in white, just because I wanted to show you how easy it would be to batch make them in white, especially if you do get the 2 jars from both sets. Batch make them in white, and then you could paint them with acrylics or pixie powders or pretty much anything you wanted to, or just stress inks. If you're not a painter, you can just stress ink these really well. They're quite absorbent, so you can add anything like that to them and give them a completely different effect if you wish to. So let's take you down to this end and we will chat about a few of the cards I've made and give you a few ideas hopefully on how you could use these in your card making. So this is by far my favourite. I absolutely love this card. I'm not usually very enthusiastic necessarily about things I make, but somehow I've just got this one right and I love it. It might not be your cup of tea. I am a bit of an oddball, but something about this one I'm quite chuffed with. Now, you're going to think I'm going mad because I'm going to tell you that the flourishy bits around here, this is your Rose Flourish mould, has been done out of pink from set number 2. Your butterflies are also, these are 3D butterflies, are also done out of pink from set number 2, with the bodies of them being done out of the brown from set 1. Now, I've left a little bit off of the top here, I've scratched a little bit off, hopefully you might see that, of the pink underneath it, just so you can see I'm not going insane. What I've done is I've pixie powdered over the top of all of that. using a combination of different colours, basically just the scraps from some of the other pixie powdered bits I'd been doing, just slapped it over and painted it and left it to dry, and it sort of dried as this really nice regal sort of tealy green colour. And then over the top of it I've gone over with my gilding wax to highlight the different parts of it, and then just layered it all up. Really, really, really quick card to make. Quite simple, but I did think that was quite elegant and I quite liked that one. While we're on the gilding wax idea, I'll show you this one too. So this one, I know black doesn't always show up too well on camera. I'm hoping the gilding wax might help you see it, because this really is quite beautiful, the actual moulds that have been used on this. So this one has the 3D butterfly, the rose flourish, and the small butterfly all dotted out between the different pieces, and it's all been done in black, which comes in set number 1. Again, really simple card actually constructed behind it, but I think these make up for the simplicity of the card, hopefully. I also wanted to do a matching tag, more just because I quite like the gilding polish and the black, and get a bit carried away. And as you can see, I've got loads and loads of bits to do, so I really had got lots I could do if I wanted to. So on my tag this time we have the small butterfly, the floral collection for all of the different flowers, the rose leaf and the rose flourish. Now the rose flourish is tucked away at the top here. The leaves obviously are all hidden in between the flowers, and this is quite a good way to see some of the different flowers created and polished, and I just think you're going to love them. If you're lucky enough to get your hands on one of them, I think you're really going to love them. Moving on, I will show you another card. So this time we have a very different set to the last two. Not quite as mixed media and distressed, more sort of as the colours are, because I think it's important you can see that the colours that you're going to get in your sets, or if you do want to buy them separately, you really can use them colours as they are. You don't have to add anything to them if you don't want to, and I think these are quite a stunning colour combination. So in this one we have the green from set 1 and the pale blue from set 2. The actual moulds that I've used on this one are the corners, the rose flourish, the small butterfly and the 3D butterfly. Now the rose flourish, it's quite important to notice here that we have the different sizes of the flourish, and then in between them I've gone in with the tiny little roses that come separately and just added them on for a bit of dimension. The corners, I really want you to notice them just because they're so lovely. You're going to see all of the different corners on the next couple of projects I'm going to show you, and I'm just absolutely in love with these. I think they're really, really delicate and really, really lovely. And as we show you on one of the last ones, just a little bit of gilding wax so I can really make them pop. Moving on to our next one. Now this I've wanted to do for absolutely years. Lynn Lewis made me a thermometer like this a couple of years back, and I've really just wanted to get my hands on one and get to play about and make one. And we've finally got them in stock. They're really inexpensive, they're only $2.99. They come as plain wood with your thermometer already in place, and then from there it's up to you what you do with them. And of course we have them in stock or online if you do wish to order one of them to go with this. For my one, all I've done is I've painted over it with a combination of acrylic paint with pixie powder mixed in to get this sort of grey silvery colour. I've gone round the edge of it using gilding wax. I've stamped over the top of it using brown ink and a script stamp, and then I've of course added all of my little embellishments from my mould. So on this one we have colour wise the brown from set 1, the yellow from set 1 and the green from set 1, and the moulds that I've used are the floral collection, the rose leaf, the corner set and the 3D butterfly. And I just loved these little sunflowers. They really were quite a nice little surprise, and they're quite thin as well. If you're worried that all of this is going to be a bit too thick for what you do, these are really delicate. And if you do take them out a little bit before they're completely set, you can shape them about a bit. The same with the leaves. So if you do want to give it a bit more texture and dimension, you certainly can do if you wish to. Over the top of mine, I've gone over it with distress inks. I've just gone over with a dark brown distress ink using a blending egg to create the edges to my sunflowers, just because I wanted to tone it all down a bit and bring in the browns from the corners and the butterflies. Of course, this is another corner design that you haven't yet seen before, so you might want to take notice of that one. That's again on that same set, so really good value with them too. Moving on, showing you something different. Now this was just an excuse really. I've made 3 little gift boxes, and I just wanted the excuse to play with more of the little elements that I'd got out of my little treasure trove of pieces in one of my little boxes. So this one, really, really quick and simple. We have the neon purple from set 2 in our colours. We have the white, which of course is available in set 1 and set 2. And I've just gone over all of it using a silver gilding wax, just to highlight the patterns in the corners. And I think that's quite important because you see just how much detail is in these. They really are quite stunning. Again, with the little sort of broachy part for the middle, just to tie it in. And even the butterflies, again, such delicate work's gone onto them. And that completes our box for that one. So let's move on, show you another box. So this time we have a bit of a different set going on. We have the flesh from number 1, the green from number 1, and the purple from set number 1. And then the moulds, we have the flower collection, the corner set, the 3D butterfly, and the rose leaf. Again, all just left as they are, so you can see how nicely the colours work. The flowers, again, are like we did the roses on the flourish, by loading in the purple first and then putting the flesh on top of it to create that two-tone effect. And then down the front here, now this I thought was quite worth noticing, this has been done with neon blue. Now, normally when people say neon to me, I think they're going to be bright and ghastly and I'm not going to like them. I'm not really a neon person. I'm much more the sort of vintage, dark side of life. So the neons tend to be a bit bright for me. But with this, I don't think that's neon at all. I think that's actually quite lovely. It's a really nice, just soft blue that I could see being used for so many projects. And I think we shouldn't be put off by the word neon in this collection. That's my takeaway from this. Mould-wise, we've got the corner set, obviously, and the 3D butterfly, all done in that really nice blue. So they are my different boxes. And then I'm going to take you over to this side to show you a few more cards as we go over here. I'm going to start at the front here. This time, now you're going to think I'm lying to you again, this one is all been done using neon orange. I know, doesn't look at all orange, does it? On one of my wings I have left it exposed somewhere. Oh, here we go. So you can see the orange come through. But it's actually all been painted over with pixie powders just to give me that different effect. Now by now, if you watch many of my videos or if you've noticed the state of my hands, you're going to know I am absolutely addicted to pixie powders. If you haven't ever seen pixie powders, if this is your first Sunday Showcase video, first of all, welcome. Second of all, treat yourself. Go and watch the pixie powder video. You can see it on our YouTube channel. It's there. We've got an introduction to pixie powders. That's a bit of a mouthful. And we have a Sunday Showcase. And I'm afraid the offer, of course, has ended because our offers are only valid for the week of the launch, obviously. But they're good technique videos, and they'll show you how to create effects like this using just powder in a little bottle, and you can create stunning things with these. So these are pixie powder effect over the orange to give you an idea. For the mould, it is the corner mould that we have going on up here, the corner set that's been used, and then the dragonfly set. Now don't forget the dragonfly set has everything else in it you need for this card. So it's got all of your walls, your little ferny flourishy bits, and your 2 different dragonflies. So that really is a very good value for money when you look at all the components you're getting on it. That one, if you forgot, is $16.99. And don't forget, of course, you'll get your raffle ticket and you could potentially win £50 off Craftmania vouchers. Not to be sniffed at. Continuing with the dragonfly set and the pixie powder addiction, we have another one that's been done out of neon orange, but this time I've chose different colour pixie powders just to give you a different idea and a different colour set that we could be doing with these. Again, it's all just been attacked with pixie powders to give me these different colours, and everything you see is on that dragonfly set, or mould. So again, you can create a lot of different cards using just the one mould set and any colour of the clay itself if you've got a few pixie powders to hand. This one, again, we've got the dragonfly set going on quite a lot, but everything on here is white. So don't forget when I said earlier that I've only got very little left of my white from one of my pots. As I'm sure you've added up now, I've used a lot of white. This one took up quite a bit of my white, simply because everything on here is done just in white. The white, don't forget, is available in set 1 or 2, or if you're really lucky and get both sets, you'll end up with all of the colours, including 2 white. So again, really good value. On here we have the dragonfly set, which is responsible for all of these bits. I've even cut my little wall and one of the ferny bits in half so I could put it either side of my card. And then on the back here we have the flowers as well, just tucked away on a leaf branch die. Of course, if you are a die cutting sort of addict, like I know a lot of us are, then you can use your clay with your dies and layer up to create different scenes. Today I'm focusing much more on trying to show you how you can use the clay and the different bits, but this is a good reminder that you can add your own die cuts in with it and create different dimensions and different effects quite easily. Going back a card, now this is a really striking card, quite fond of this one. This is using our Pansies set, or our Pansies mould I should say. That's the $7.99 one. The good bit is it makes two different size pansies, gives you two different size leaves, and it's responsible for all of this part round here being done out of the clay, other than the butterflies obviously. Now again, with my pansies, I've loaded in 2 or 3 different colours depending on which set you look at into the mould at any time to get me that sort of radiant effect. When we spoke earlier about how the weight of heavy products on cards can make bits bend and shape, I want to show you this because this is just one ply card. It's not thick card, it's just one ply card, and I've got all of that weight on there, or not on there is more the case, all of that embellishment, and there's no bending, there's no weighing, there's no sort of seeping in which you would get if it was too heavy. So it's a good example of just how lightweight this clay is and how it's not going to damage your cards, and it's not going to hopefully make your postage much more expensive either. As for the moulds, as I say, we have got the pansies one on this one. We've also got the small butterfly and the 3D butterfly. The colours for the pansies and the butterflies and bits, we have the white, which is available in set 1 or 2, green from set 1, the yellow from set 1, the neon purple from set 2, and the purple from set 1. If you're wondering how to create the card, I know lots of you like to know how I've created my different card shapes. All this is a standard aperture card. That should normally fold in and create the back of your aperture card as you normally would. But instead of actually gluing it down to make an aperture, I leave mine open as a free fold panel, and then that way I can just put a stopper at the back of it and create this sort of arched effect. I really like doing that because it gives me the option to put these little swingy bits in the middle, which I just tend to use a die cut shape for. So on this one I've just got a die cut circle, and then I glue gun ribbons to the back of that and the top of my card so that it just hangs in the middle. And I actually really love that. Even if you don't like the card, maybe you might just like this bit. Just really simple white and silver work going on there, and again shows you how nicely you can add in your ordinary die cuts with these to create a good dimensional effect. Sorry. So we'll pop that one back together. But the pansies are lovely, aren't they? I really do like them. I love the sort of different colours going on in them. And of course, again, I've gone over it using silver gilding wax, but you could distress them, you could add pixie powders to them, you could do so much you could do with them. Okay, moving on to our next one. Now on this one, let's lay that one down, come over to this one. This one again, we've got a bit of a different idea going on. We have got the pink from set 2, the green from set 1, the flesh from set 1, and for the moulds we've got the rose flourish, the 3D butterfly and the corner set. Now I just love all these roses, and this really does just lend itself to go round any shape. Obviously we show you the circle that we've done earlier, or I've done earlier. This is now an oval aperture card, and I've just gone round the side of the oval using all of the different sizes for that one. Now this is worth mentioning, when I made this I really liked the pink and the flesh colour together, but as it all come together I felt it got a bit heavy, and I sort of found the clash of the colours a bit too much. So I've just gone over it with the gilding wax, and I felt that sort of toned both of the colours down slightly and gave them something in common, shall we say, and I hope that sort of worked a bit better. It's not my favourite card I've made, but I certainly like it a little bit more than I did when I started with it. So hopefully it's one you'll like, but if not, learn from my colour combos, do something different. You could have up to 20 different colours, and then your pixie powders and your waxes and bits, the colour options are endless, so you could certainly go off on a different tangent if you wanted to. This one, again, we are using the rose flourish to go around a circle this time, so very similar to one of the ones I showed you earlier, but a slightly smaller circle, and this time an aperture. Colour wise for our clay, we've got the flesh from set 1, the red from set 1 and the green from set 1. Mould wise we're using the rose flourish, the small butterfly and the corner set to create this one. And I haven't done anything to these at all. Again, like the last one I showed you where they'd gone around a circle, I've left them just as they are. And as I said when I was putting the clay into my mould earlier, I'm a bit slap happy when I come to put the clay in, but I think they turn out okay. Of course, you can spend a bit more time with it if you wish to, but I don't think you need to. I think that's part of being handmade, isn't it? It's just sort of seeing the imperfections as well and forgiving them, because that's what being handmade is all about somehow. Now, if you're not a card maker, I did tell you that you could easily use these for many other things, and with that in mind I wanted to show you something else you could do with them. So I've just used one of our chipboard frames. We do these in lots of different sizes and styles, and all of the components come individually, so you've got the front frames, the back panel and the leg separately, so you can either use them as a landscape or a portrait. It's completely up to you, and decorating them can be great fun. I love getting my hands on some of these. So with this one, I've painted it white to begin with, because when you get them they start off as just a grey board. So I've painted it white, I've then stamped over it using a script stamp and some brown ink, and then I've used my gilding wax to go around the edges of it, and that was sort of the basis for decorating. I then used my clay in flesh, which is from set 1, the white, which comes from either set 1 or 2, and the green from set 1, and then for the moulds I've used the corner set, the small butterfly and the rose flourish. And I really like the way just one rose flourish sat around the top and the bottom of the ovals. Obviously being a frame, and I think this is quite important to mention, with a frame, you don't really want the frame to be the focal point, you want the picture in it to be the focal point. So I've tried to dial back my frame a little bit and make it not the focal point. I want it to complement the photo, not steal from the photo. So I haven't actually had a chance to put pictures in them, so I've just put pieces of paper in this one that can be removed, or you can just pop the photos in over the top of them. If you wanted to, of course, you could add verses and decoration in one of the sides and a photo in the other, and it could make a really lovely Mother's Day gift maybe, or birthday present, of course. There's a lot you could do with them, and as I say, the frames do come in different sizes and shapes, so you might like to have a little look at it. Onto another frame, and this one's a different idea again, showing you one of the different shapes again. Obviously this time we've got the same size frame but a larger single aperture. Again, I've left it open so I can put a picture in it, but I just haven't quite got a chance. So I've painted it white just to complement the actual pieces I've put on my frame. But this time, colour-wise for the clay, I've used the white, which is available, as I'm sure you know by now, in set 1 and 2, the pink from set 2, the neon pink from set 2, and the purple from set 1. For the moulds, I've used the flower collection, the rose flourish, the corner set, the small butterflies and the 3D butterfly. I've left my butterflies alone, I haven't done anything to them, but the leaves and the flowers, I've gone over using gilding polish, and I do actually mean gilding polish this time. I know I often get it around the wrong way, but these are our metallic gilding polishes. Again, if you've not seen them, these are a great product, and we do have an introduction video to these too, and we also have a Sunday showcase video for these two, which again I think has been viewed by something like 3,500 people. So you may have been one of them who's already seen it. Well, this product would work really well with your clay again. Simply just take out the applicator, apply a very small amount of the mousse to the applicator, and just brush it over the top of any of your clay pieces, and it will just give you a nice shimmer again of sort of a metallic cream as such. A bit like the gilding wax, but very easy to apply, and comes in quite a few different colours. I think there's something like 20 odd different colours of these, and they're available in store or online, so again you might want to have a little watch of them. So just to recap for today, all the different bits I've shown you and your different offers before I let you go. We have different sets of your clays. You've got set 1, which consists of flesh, black, brown, red, blue, light blue, purple, green, yellow and white. That is set 1. And then set 2, we also have white, pale blue, neon purple, light green, neon blue, neon pink, pink, orange, neon yellow and neon orange. Again, you can have all of this lot individually for just £2.39, or if you do wish to buy the sets, this set 2 or set 1 is available individually for £15.99. Or if you're greedy a bit like me and you want all of them, you can buy set 1 and set 2 together for just £28, which of course means you're saving a small fortune, because it should retail individually for £47.80. Don't forget, if you do want any of them separately, even if you want to buy set 1 for instance and just add a couple of the colours from set 2, you can do, or vice versa. The separates are just £2.39, which I will remind you once again, if we compare that to the Hearty clays and that, is an absolute bargain, let alone before we get onto your offers. So this really could be something you're going to fall in love with and save a fortune on all at the same time. Back to your moulds, don't forget for every mould you purchase you will receive a free raffle ticket. On next week's video we will pick one lucky winner, one lucky number, who will hopefully win £50 worth of gift vouchers that can be spent in store or online, so it doesn't matter where in the world you live. For your moulds, we have a Rose Flourish one, which is $16.99. You have your corner one with that lovely little bit in the middle, which is only $9.99. We have our 3D butterfly one, which is $14.99. We have our dragonfly mould, which is $16.99. Our rose leaf mould, giving you all of them different options for just $9.99. We then have the small butterfly one for $8.99 and the floral collection one for $9.99. And let's not forget the pansies at the back here for only $7.99. Of course, you might wish to add on your tool set as well. They are only $1.99 and you get all three of the pieces that you can see there for it. It might be worth mentioning to you as well, I know I often forget this when I'm looking at products like this. If you're somebody that's buying embellishments and bits that are ready made, this might be something you want to try, because as you can see it really isn't very hard to do, but could save you a lot of money long term as well. We actually, I've got these to show you a couple of examples. We sell little bits like this, believe it or not, are made of resin, which sell for $1.99 each. We also have sets like these, of these 3 bells. They sell for $1.99 for the pack. If you compare that to what you could be making out of these moulds with this clay and the amount you're going to get out of them for your money, you could save a small fortune. So it might be worth looking into that if you are somebody that buys flowers and embellishments and buttons and bits like that, because I'm sure you could be using some of these instead. All of your offers today will end at 5 PM on Saturday the 13th of January 2018. If you do wish to have anything you've seen today held for you in store, please pop in the comments on Facebook or on YouTube the items you would like, and if you would like to collect from our store in Great Yarmouth, Norfolk or Lowestoft, Suffolk, and we will have them held for you up until 5 PM on Saturday the 13th of January. If you wish to collect them after that date, that's no problem, we will happily hold them for you, but we do need payment first. So do give us a call or email us, contact us, however you wish to, and we'll take your payment and then we'll hold on to it for as long as you wish for us to do so. If you don't live locally or you simply can't make it in store this week but don't want to miss out on this, we can of course post it to you. Doesn't matter if you live at the end of the road or the other side of the world. We've had parcels going this week to Memphis, Australia, Holland, everywhere. They're all getting in on the action. So if you do live anywhere about the world and you want to get our products, we can post them to you. Check out the frequently asked questions if it's for an international order, and that will tell you all about how that system works. If you are in the UK and you wish to order our products, then it's ever so simple. If your order comes to less than £35, it's just a flat rate of £2.75 P&B. If you spend over £35, then it's completely free. Absolutely free. Not a penny at all. So of course with today's set, for instance, if you go for set 1 and 2, maybe a mould, you could get them sent to you absolutely free, and you've got hours of fun ahead of you. So that might be worth thinking about. Obviously with all of our showcases, as we talk to you throughout the week, and we've had a few of you ring up this week to do your orders, which again, something worth mentioning. If you don't like ordering online and you can't make it in store and you're a bit of a technophobe like me, I'm pretty useless with it, and you'd prefer to talk to a human than a keyboard, give us a call, 01502 218 281, and we will process any of your orders. They still qualify for the same P&P restrictions, and we can have it sent out that way as well. It's never a problem. But I've been talking to quite a few of you this week, and you haven't noticed or picked up yet that our videos are released every Sunday. So every Sunday we have a new video and a new offer for you. So if you are new to our videos or you haven't yet quite seen that, literally every Sunday we will be back with a different video and a different product and a different offer. So it might be worth catching up on them if you haven't seen them. The offers do normally end at 5 PM the following Saturday, so do get in quick if you can. A lot of the products we bring to you on these are one-offs, and when they're gone, they're gone. Luckily for you, last bit of news I have is one of our offers from before Christmas has actually been extended, and this is going to be extended till the end of January. Basically, we launched this product for you, which are embossing folders with dies in them, so when it embosses it also cuts out the shape. These sold out so quickly. We went through 3 deliveries in 3 days trying to keep up with demand, and then sadly the company shut down for Christmas and we simply couldn't get no more. Well, luckily with all of the Christmas bit behind us, we've managed to get a few more in stock now, and so because of this, we know so many of you wanted them and couldn't get hold of them. We've extended the offer and it will now run till the end of January. So if you do want them, get them that way and get them quick before they sell out again. If you haven't seen them and you have no idea what I'm going on about, basically the set consists of 6 embossing folders. They should retail for £5.99 separately, but you can have them for just £25. That gives you a value of £35.94 for just £25. Here's one of the cards that was made on that video and explained on there how it's actually constructed. And there is a whole host of cards on the video to give you ideas, and it will also show you the 6 different designs for the folders. If you haven't seen that showcase, you might want to pop back and have a little look at it. It was literally the one before Christmas, so you might want to have a look and see if that's a product that interests you as well. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a thumbs up, and if you'd like to, we love it when you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well if you are a YouTube member. We're nearly at 350 subscribers, which is just incredible. Every week I tell you how we're doing, and we're just jumping up in stages at a rapid rate, and it's really, really lovely to welcome you all on board and introduce you to our very crazy but very fun little world. I hope you've enjoyed it. As I say, I will see you again next Sunday when we have another new video for you, and hopefully a new product and offer as well. See you then. Bye for now.